God bless you and welcome to another show of the Brinson Institute. Wow, I'm so glad that you took time out of your schedule to tune us in wherever we are being heard and watched. And so we're just excited about what God is doing. Well, tonight or this evening or whenever you watch this, we have a special show for you this evening. I have with me again my good friends, Dr. Aldrich and Ruth Locke, who are part of our Brinson Institute Fellows, and you have seen them on our show before, and I thought I would bring them back. We got a part one and a part two for you tonight. One of the things that I was excited about I wanted to bring in a life experience situation to talk about the process of life adjustments, because sometimes we read about them, we see stories about them, but sometimes it's good to bring some real life individuals in to talk about the journey of life, what God is doing and how they see it, to laugh, talk, and cry about life in its process. So tonight, this evening, our show is going to be talking about retirement. Retirement, you want to say retirement, refire, reconstruction, reconciliation, all that good stuff. When I looked up, I tried to Google retirement before I started the show, what is retirement? And the only thing they told me was to really stop working. That's all they said. Retirement is the cessation of punching a clock. So whatever you do for vocational reasons to stop doing it. Well, some people, you know, they don't never retire. So based upon that, I have my good friend, Dr. Al Locke, who, guess what? Don't tell nobody, but we're here to tell on him. He called himself retired. He's retired now. He's retired. Only about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month now when this show is aired. And his wife, Dr. Ruth Locke, she's not retired. She's still working. So whatever this retirement he said he is means, it really means that he's at the house more, whatever that means. And so I wanted to talk about what does it mean that you see him more or you don't see him more, but what is all this of retirement? So Dr. Al, welcome to our show. Dr. Ruth, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Brinson Institute. Let's talk about some things. Dr. Al, just in brief, tell us what you call retirement from.
Well, retirement right now.
In fact, tell the audience, look at that camera and tell them in your mind what is retirement and why you retired from whatever that was that you retired from, and what was it? You look at the camera.
Well, I retired from Jesse Brown VA Hospital
in Chicago.
In Chicago, I retired from a nursing position, working at the ER. Did administration, a little management, and that type of thing. And being there, I'm at the age, I love the job, but you have to realize you have to cut it off, because you can wear yourself down, especially being in the medical field. Medical field has a great deal of burnout, and you have to take care of yourself. Dr. Ruth alluded to earlier, in an earlier segment of the show, about, you know, wearing yourself down. You have to take care of yourself. You have to preserve yourself, because the world is needy. They'll, you know, and working in a hospital, it's a lot of energy drain. You know, you come in, you have to come in with a positive attitude. You got to be prayed up, because you're dealing with anything coming through that door. And a lot of it, you know, people are in crisis or near crisis, and they look for you when you connect with them to bring them out of crisis. And that takes a lot of mental and spiritual energy. And over a period of time, it can wear you down. So you know, I'm at the age, and I've done my thing here. I just felt that it was time to move on. You know, retirement for me is taking a pause, is regrouping, it's refocusing, and doing things at my pace. That's all it is. Whereas not hitting the clock, you at their pace. I got to be there. No, when you have, and I believe if you're blessed and God's giving you blessings and giving you special opportunities to do things and skills and everything. You just can't just park that. Life is a gift. Use your gift until the day you die. But you have to pace yourself so you don't burn yourself out. So I can be able to do and face the challenges God has for me to do. So retirement is just reconstructing my time. It's refocusing and giving me time to heal and to pace myself in this process. It's a different process, but I have more control over it.
So, Dr. Ruth, you said who? Dr. Ruth. So, what's your take on retirement in general, based upon what do you do, and now looking at your husband who's saying he's retired, what does that look like for you at this point?
Well, let me just say this. First of all, his retirement has dealt with a lot of reflection, all right, where he wants to go from now. And so, therefore, since he's been retired, I get this. Ruth, guess what? Wake up, wake up. I gotta tell you.
I got a new idea. Let's save the world.
So,
these are aha experiences now.
And I really have found myself having to divide the duties that I had become so regimented in. I'm not an A personality, by no means. All right. However, I find that I ran this. This was my show. And now somebody else in there is in my way. I mean, I thought about it, and it was just so fun. Well, it wasn't really funny because first I was insulted. Why are you opening the mail?
Okay.
I did that. That was my job. And now what are you opening? What are you doing? What are you reading?
I had to check her and tell her I do live here.
But
you're
not supposed to be going to the mailbox.
I love
In fact, she goes to the mailbox at a certain time during the day. And now you didn't beat her to the mailbox, or she say I'll get it later, and she come in and you reading the mail.
Or he tearing up something.
Yeah,
what are you tearing up? I have to shred that. I get a shredding responsibility.
You got a shred machine, and you tearing it up.
I got a shredding responsibility. I put this stack here, and this the shred stack. Okay, and even to towels. You have guest towels, and you have your regular towels. Well, I generally hang his towels in his bathroom, but he was sitting there getting one, and it was the guest towel. So it's so much simple things that I had not been aware. You think you know a person, but when you're with them all day, for the most part, now you really get to know them. Okay? He asked me before we got married. He said, Ruth, would you walk through this life with me? That man been dragging me through this life ever since I got married. Ever since I got married.
Don't believe that.
Say love is a drag. Come on with me.
We've been running. So it is a joy to have them at home. I find that sitting down in the mornings, having coffee together, laughing and talking, because we tell jokes now. So we laugh and talk, or we talk about our experience of the next day, or what lies ahead of us. Okay, and some days it's a bit scary what lies ahead of us, because that means that I've got to experience something new, and I'm not really good with change, but however, I am willing to try it. So for me, that is a job. Now, I have not retired because I still take care of my mother, who's there in the home now with me, and then I have my husband, who doesn't know how to cook, because when they were raised, they were taught that their job was always outside. You empty the garbage, you clean the basement, you cut the grass. No cooking, none of that. Okay.
But you
and
know,
I don't do what's that? Oodles and noodles.
Oodles, noodles, and oodles.
Yeah.
Well, see, what you probably
I'm gonna
want to
teach
do is, since they said one of the things if I'm saying is to teach him how to cook one thing a month. You can do the toast this month. Next month, you can do this. And one thing a month, and you'd be surprised. You know, one of the things that I was looking at when I was trying to do my little research for retirement, because I'm a pastor, so somebody would say, "Well, Brinson," I said, "I'm retired." I'm like, "How do you retire as a pastor, a minister, a bishop, an apostle?" "Well, I'll be 68 in September." So Social Security, so I started getting my little stuff and my little pension. So I said, "Well, I'm retired too." So every now and then I tell my wife, y'all know I'm retired. And I'll be at home, but then at the same time, because I'm self-employed, I have an office at the church with my books and all that stuff. But she made a mistake when one of the boys left to take one of the bedrooms, and she felt bad because she couldn't justify taking that big old oversized bedroom and making her office and her sewing and all her stuff. So she made a little niche sideways, put a desk and a chair and said, "You can have this part of your office." So I put on the end of my office a bookcase that go up to the ceiling, and I got books and I got my in, my out stuff. I got my laptop. So I got me a nice little office niche. So I don't want to be going into the city I can do my office right there. Right. Then I got books downstairs and others, so I can be at home when they get up and go to school, work. But I have to remind her every now and then, "Well, you ain't going nowhere." "Yeah, wait, excuse me. When y'all left at 6:45, first of all, the alarm ring at 6. So I got to get up to make sure Trevor, my 15-year-old, a freshman, you up? Yeah, sit there, take your vitamins, yeah, okay, babe. Then get you out. He walk out the door at 6:45. You walk out at 6:50. So I'm gone, kiss you out the door. Now it's 10 minutes to 7. So now what I'm gonna do? Let me say, okay. So I'll do the wash. I'll wash. Keep the house clean. I do all the outside stuff, cut the lawn, do the snow. I do all that. Plus I do my work as a pastor, be on the phone counseling folk and all that. So when she come home, I'm sitting around. So what you do today? What you mean what I do today? Like I've been at home all day. So I'm full time. So I set my day and my evening. So sometimes I find myself trying to have an excuse why the day I just chilled out. So come to think of it, I thought about you, Dr. Ruth, in as much as that you are self-employed and still a doctor and a nurse and a caretaker, and you have your house and you set up, and it'd be like, so sometimes I find some days I get up and the alarm ring, Trevor is up, I go back and she's still in the bed. I said, "Baby, I thought, what's up?" I'm off today. I'm like, "Oh my." Now my day gonna be messed up. I gotta readjust my day. Now she gonna be in the way of what I gotta do. Then I may wanna chill out, and she wanna know why I'm chilling out. What you doing? Why you ain't doing? Why I might wanna sip on some. Why you didn't make me none? So I understand. That is an adjustment, but that's life.
That's life.
And so what time, we were talking about earlier in our show, we still hot from the other show. So Al leaves at what time in the morning before he retires?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
8, and then we get a little smack at the door. Bosco stands there to make sure he's not taking me out. He'll push me to the door so that I don't follow him. Okay, because Bosco me and him has to be there together. All right.
That's that big German Shepherd dog you got. Woo!
Yes, so he takes care of us. But throughout the day, I not only, do the regular home duties, but then I have people in and out because, like you said, I do take care of my mom. So I've got people in and out. So I'm like the hostess, the waiter, the maid. I wear many hats. Or somebody need an adjustment, or
consulting. You're doing consulting.
Something's going on with their body. I had to take this, or what do you think about this? Or we checking pH and waters and stuff like that. So it's just the in and out. There is no retirement.
Let me say something about that too. I was feeling guilty doing nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I'm feeling
I'm
guilty.
feeling guilty doing something.
I got make an excuse or tell a little lie. But you know, I have to get used to it's okay to do nothing.
To do nothing.
And sometimes you have to do that for yourself. I have to just shut down. Okay, let me breathe. Let me not do anything. What is the rush? What's the rush? I'm retired, so you know I'm still getting to, you know, it's still new to me. This is new to me because I'm used to being really busy. But now, okay, I'm getting up. I'm you know, I was the first few days. I'm making an excuse to stay in the bed long. I'm used to getting up running, so now I got to make this. I was making an excuse, you know, I want to lay, but now, you know, I'm
just get in
pacing
there.
myself, you know, okay, this and that, and okay, it's okay, let it go. It's a new thing, you know, you gotta let that go. And like I said, it's different, but it's focusing on let me repair myself because, like I said, the hospital was an ordeal. That was you know. You're almost in crisis mode. You're dealing with crisis. You're almost in crisis. Like you're going out, you come out from home. You know, you're really mentally exhausted. You know, this is every day, and it's been going on for 10 years. So you're dealing with this stuff. So I thank God that He gave me the strength to endure. So now that I'm resting, and I'm looking at a lot of different things. We're looking at business. We're looking at doing something in Africa. Of course, we want to expand our ministry. But let's take it easy. We don't have to do all this tomorrow. We already made our mark.
Those are my words.
Yes.
Yes.
So we've made our mark. So let's just back up. Let's rest. And then we'll see where God is leading us. And then let's see just where we want to go now. Let's do it because you mentioned earlier, where is our most passion at right now? Where is our passion? I mean, we got passion in everything we do, but what's the most passionate thing we want to do right now? And that we feel like, you know, our skills and our talents can be of great use. So understanding what's going on with our house, get that to settle down. With our kids, you know, get that settled down, get that going, and okay, what's next? You know, we want to move business, like I said. We want to get in our ministry. So we're just taking it easy.
So for those of you that are watching the show, retirement is a process within life.
Yes, it is.
That gets you to assess, reassess, and look at really what you should be looking at all the time, and that's about purpose and destiny. My call, my purpose. What is God's purpose for my life? What have I been destined to do, and what have I been doing? Because some people find out that they retired, but they didn't stop. The only thing that was different was they didn't punch a clock and have to report at a certain time. The environment might have changed, and the institution that institutionalized their quote-unquote ministry, who they were, their personality, their goals and objectives, and who they had to report to, now it's different. Now they have to report to themselves, each other. They have to come up with some kinds of answers to what God is saying. What are they hearing? What are they feeling? So life has shifted in a sense where there are different modalities. I'm doing this, but I'm doing it from another way. And some of you all in your vocation, you might want to take a look at your vocation and really think about it and pray about it, because could your vocation be your ministry? Could it be that you people think that when you say you're in ministry, that's because you're in the pulpit preaching, it's a teaching, or that's one modality. What about the marketplace? What about life, the marketplace, the passion, what we're called to do, what makes us feel like we are worth it? Then at the same time in your 60s, I mean, according to Erickson's law of development, Erickson's law of human development says at 60, you start asking yourself, was it worth it? You start asking yourself in 60, between 60 and 70, that's the time where you begin to really say, what have I done? What have I achieved? Has it been worth it? Have I fooled around? What have I not done? What do I need to do? Who really was supportive of me? Who loved me enough? Who ignored me? What did I do? What did I not accomplish? What should I accomplish? What has life done? And how am I? Wow. We got 10 minutes left for the show. See how,
how you impacted.
And how have I impacted life and others? So those of us who reach 60, we got to already deal with that. Then somebody say, well, I'm about 62, 65, I'm going to reach high. And you still ain't even answering them questions. It's a self-inventory. And at the same time, God is, you have to say, God, based upon purpose and destiny, what you called me for in life, now I see why the haters was hating and this was that, because I see the negative institutions and the other things that was trying to deter me from purpose. But now I'm clear. So all of those things are part of it. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Brunson, you said purpose and destiny, and those are two key words. Because up until my retirement, my purpose and destiny was pretty clear. You know, in my punch in the clock, I made that my purpose and destiny. I made that my ministry. But now, like you said, in your self-analysis now, to understand where I've been, where I'm at, where I'm going, you know, it's one thing I have to do. All the accolades you got from doing that in the past, you have to, you know, ask God, okay, show me my purpose and destiny. But at the same time, I have to remove my ego, because you've been kind of pumped up, or if you made successes and, you know, in your, you know, in the work that you've done prior to retirement, well, you're feeling good about it. You know, it has strengthened you as a person. You know, it's given me a strong sense of who I am. But now we got a different journey in front of us. We got a different assignment. And in that assignment, I have to put my ego of who I was to allow God to show me what He wants me to do now. And I'm finding that I have to check myself. Okay, you know, let God, instead of me, okay, come on, like we said, come on, baby, follow me, let's do this. No, let me sit back and let me allow God to show me, put my ego away and show me and give me some clarity about this new world we're entering.
Because she might, in the sense, from an Old Testament standpoint, be a Deborah.
Okay.
And so Deborah said to Barak, you know, God told you to go get the army of 10,000 men and go, and He was going to deliver this army into your hands, and you have not done that. And he says, well, if you go with me, Deborah, I'll do it. She said, okay, but if I go, you're not going to get the brownie points as a brother, because the sisterhood going to get the celebration.
Right.
He said, all right, come on, go. So as the story goes, Deborah rides in the chariot. Barak goes get the 10,000 men. They come against Sisera, who was fighting against them. And what happens? Because Deborah's with them, they start winning. Sisera is in his chariot, and they coming down on him. So he jumps out his chariot, and he runs away from the battle. And he runs down the field, and he runs into a woman who already knows what's going on, and she says, Lord, in his house, are you tired? Come on in. He told us, oh, I understand. You want something to drink and want some milk? Come on and lay down. And he laid down, and when he went to sleep, she drove the peg through his head and killed him. He was the enemy. So the sister got the celebration and the praise from a job that Barak was doing because he asked Deborah to go with. Now I'm just throwing that out there to say sometimes we have to have our sister to share with us in our, whatever we call our, because it's us's, but sometimes in the sharing, we have to say, you know what, this was my thing, I enjoyed it, but you know what, this accolade for this particular project go to Ruth. I'm just finding that out because like we all in our retirement. So how or this situation and encouragement go to my son or my nephew or my niece,
Right, it's other people.
because those other people comes into our space. How many people do you say you had? 100 and how many people?
166.
166 family members in which you said you see yourself as the priest that helps to see and share and love and keep kind of things balancing and everything. So now, guess what? Now you're not punching the clock. And you're not getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning and coming back and say, so guess what? You just might say, aha. All of a sudden, some of them 166 people saying, Al, Uncle Al, Daddy Al, Baba, in the African tradition, Baba, I need you. Baba, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
Baba, can you go run with me? Baba. All of a sudden now, there was a demand on a standby. So I just we got about 3 minutes left. Say something. Say something.
Help me out with that, Ruth.
Say something.
First of all, I'm going to talk about the 166 because they came from two people, my parents, who were married for 66 years. And out of that union developed this 166. And yes, Aldrich does not have his own children. And he asked me one day, why, or what did I think that meant? I said, because God didn't allow you to have any children because you got so many other children out here. If you had your own, you'd be defocused. So therefore, he wanted you to focus over here.
The chieftain of the village.
Yes, that's why you have so many. So he was blessed.
He's the village chieftain.
My hair's going gray.
So now,
It's stressing me out.
so now you
No, it's
can
beautiful,
move
though.
from punching the clock at Jesse Brown
Yeah.
Veterans Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, for 10 years as a nurse, and also from the years of back of being a chiropractor, a Vietnam vet, doing hair, and all of that stuff, all these years of doing what you do, and at the same time punching the clock. Now you don't have to punch a clock. So now, and at the same time, the modality of dealing with veterans, which we're going to get in part two with PTSD, and all of those kinds of things, and all this stuff saying, hey,
That's right.
you ain't punching the clock no more, so can we have a turn now?
But
As
Apostle,
a matter of fact, they were
has-
there this past Sunday, for hours in a room.
it was
having the men,
and I
the young
loved
men
it.
group.
I was able to impart, and I'm seeing that they coming in, and the next day from that party, it was 6 of them in my office, and we just talking, and we must have talked about 3 or 4 hours. So I'm starting the process, and it's a responsibility, and I know God has prepared me for this new thing, and they're part of it, because to be a mentor, to be whatever God wants me to be a spiritual advisor, whatever it is, God has prepared us to do this, to take it to the next phase. The next phase may be to help develop this 166 people charge that's in our lives. That's a church, that's a village.
And not only that, that's plus the wider community.
Right.
And so what we call that is the shift. Life is process and the shift. And now the word of the Lord comes to me saying, go over here. Because the brook then dried up, Elijah.
Yes.
Now go to Zarephath.
Yeah.
Come from this and go there. So life is about shifting and being transformed. Well, our time is up. Wow, the
That's
time
fast.
is
It
up.
really was
And
fast.
so we're going to come back in part 2, and we're going to talk about what are the passions of retirement? What are some of the things that we need to look at with Dr. Al and Dr. Ruth Locke here with us at the Brinson Institute. So we're thankful for you that have been watching us. Continue to be blessed, and may God continue, and may the God of peace continue to sanctify you wholly, both spirit, soul, and body, and may you have wholeness, wellness, and peace.
Amen.
Amen.